Ever heard of a wolf so terrifying that even the gods of Asgard trembled before it? Today, we're diving deep into the saga of Fenrir, the monstrous wolf destined to bring about the end of days. This isn't just a story about a big bad wolf. It's a tale of prophecy, betrayal, and a fate so powerful it could bring down the Allfather himself, Odin. So, who exactly was Fenrir? In Norse mythology, he was no ordinary wolf. He was the son of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angra. This made him brother to two other formidable beings, Jormungandr, the world serpent, and Hel, the ruler of the underworld. From the moment of his birth, a dark prophecy loomed over Fenrir. The seers foretold that he would one day be responsible for the death of Odin, the king of the gods. As you can imagine, this news didn't sit well with the Aesir gods in Asgard. Fear is a powerful motivator, and the gods were terrified. They decided the best course of action was to bring the young pup, along with his siblings, to Asgard. Jormungandr was cast into the great ocean that encircles Midgard, the world of men, and Hel was sent to preside over the realm of the dead. But Fenrir, he was a different problem. Initially, he seemed like just a puppy. Only one god was brave enough to approach and feed him, Tyr, the god of war and justice. Tyr saw beyond the prophecy and formed a bond with the young wolf, treating him with a kindness the other gods couldn't muster. But Fenrir grew, and he grew fast. Soon he was no longer a playful pup but a colossal beast of terrifying size and strength. The gods' initial fear turned into full-blown panic. The prophecy echoed in their minds. They could unjust kill him, that would be a dishonorable act and would stain the sacred ground of Asgard with blood. So, they resorted to trickery. Their plan was to bind Fenrir with a chain so strong he could never break free. They presented it as a game, a test of his legendary strength. Their first attempt was with a chain called Liding. They challenged Fenrir. "Let's see if you can break this, mighty wolf." Fenrir, confident in his power, agreed. With a single, mighty flex, he shattered Liding into pieces. The gods were shocked, but they didn't give up. They returned with a second, much stronger chain called Drami. It was twice as formidable as the first. Again, they goaded Fenrir, praising his strength and daring him to try again. Fenrir, though slightly more suspicious, accepted the challenge once more. He struggled a bit more this time, straining against the heavy iron links, but with a powerful surge, he broke Drami as well, sending the fragments flying. The gods were now desperate. Their best smiths and strongest materials were no match for the wolf's ever-growing power. Realizing they couldn't forge a chain strong enough on their own, Odin sent a messenger to the dwarves in their subterranean realm of Svartalfheim. The dwarves were master craftsmen, capable of creating magical wonders. They were tasked with creating an unbreakable bond. The dwarves got to work, and what they created was not a heavy iron chain, but a silken smooth ribbon called Gleipnir. You might wonder, what could a soft ribbon do against a monstrous wolf? Well, Gleipnir was no ordinary ribbon. It was forged from 6 impossible ingredients: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird. Because these things don't exist, the ribbon was imbued with a magical force that made it unbreakable. The gods brought Gleipnir to Fenrir on an island called Lyngvi. This time, Fenrir was wary. The ribbon looked deceptively weak, and he sensed a trap. "Why would you need to test my strength on such a flimsy thing unless there is some trickery involved?" he asked. He refused to be bound unless one of the gods placed their hand in his mouth as a pledge of good faith. If they tricked him, they would lose a hand. The gods looked at each other, silent and afraid. None of them wanted to make that sacrifice. But then, Tyr stepped forward. The only god who had ever shown Fenrir true friendship, the god of justice, volunteered. He knew the gods were acting out of fear and breaking their honor, but he also believed it was a necessary sacrifice to protect Asgard. He placed his right hand into the wolf's massive jaws. The other gods quickly wrapped Gleipnir around Fenrir. The wolf struggled, trying to break free as he had before, but the more he strained, the tighter the magical ribbon became. He was trapped, realizing he had been betrayed. Fenrir snapped his jaws shut, severing Tyr's hand at the wrist. The gods, all except Tyr, roared with laughter at their success. They had neutralized the threat, but their victory came at a great cost: the trust of a friend, the honor of their word, and the hand of their bravest god. The gods then took the end of Gleipnir and tied it to a giant rock, which they anchored deep within the earth. To keep Fenrir's jaws from causing more havoc, they wedged a sword into his mouth, with the hilt on his lower jaw and the point on his upper, and there Fenrir was left, bound and howling in rage and pain. A river of his saliva, called Vian, flowed from his gaping mouth. He was left to wait and to dream of his revenge. And that revenge is destined to come. The prophecies say that at the dawn of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, all bonds will be broken. Fenrir will finally break free from Gleipnir. His rage, simmering for ages, will be unleashed upon the cosmos. He will run across the world with his lower jaw on the ground and his upper jaw scraping the sky, devouring everything in his path. During this final battle, Fenrir will seek out the one who orchestrated his imprisonment, Odin the Allfather. The two will engage in a cataclysmic fight. Despite Odin's wisdom and power, armed with his legendary spear Gungnir, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Fenrir, the great wolf, will swallow Odin whole, ending the reign of the king of the Aesir. But the story doesn't end there. Odin's death will be avenged. His son Vidar, the silent god, will confront Fenrir. Vidar is described as having a special shoe, crafted from all the leather scraps that shoemakers have discarded throughout time. He will use this shoe to step on Fenrir's lower jaw, and with his bare hands he will tear the wolf's upper jaw apart, finally killing the beast. So, the tale of Fenrir is a tragic one. Was he born a monster, or was he made one by the fear and betrayal of the gods? They saw a threat in a prophecy and, through their actions, created the very enemy they dreaded. By trying to prevent their fate, they sealed it. Fenrir's story serves as a powerful reminder in Norse mythology that fate is inescapable, and that fear can lead even the wisest of gods to commit acts of great cruelty and dishonor. It's a dark and complex legacy, making Fenrir one of the most fascinating and terrifying figures in all of mythology. What do you think? Was Fenrir a victim of circumstance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into Norse myth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.